Okay, we should be, I would do.
Some days have work from here, some days like that.
The time is 6:05. Call our meeting to order. You could stand for the invocation.
Father God, we ask in these times of misunderstandings and not knowing what's going on, that you lead us in our decisions for this community tonight and all of the stuff that we discussed. And that we have the community in our first and foremost thoughts in all that we do and led by you. We thank you. We love you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our roll call. You can start this time, Allison.
Oh, Allison Bell. Sorry, that's
James, Chen, Harry, Missouri.
Pam Reed
Elizabeth Osborne.
Kathy and
and Larry's on his way. Any announcements? Election is tomorrow. Please vote.
Ready?
Everyone needs to vote.
It's going too quick.
I agree.
3 years.
We got to write in, right?
Yes, all ours on our West Tawakoni are right in. Be sure and look at the list and vote. Okay,
Now, are they gonna open
the voting will take place at the Chamber Building on 276. It's the building across from, sort of across from Dollar General at an angle. And it looks like the old bank building.
7 to 7.
And it's from
7 to
7A to 7B. Okay, we have no citizens here with us today, so I guess we have no citizens input. So the next item is our consent agenda. Everyone will look over everything. Chair would entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of meeting of October 3rd, 2022.
I'll second.
So are we also bringing B and C? So do I need a motion for those? The bills, I'll make a motion that we pay our bills. Okay.
I second that big time.
All in favor? All in favor?
I
Okay. So, have you looked at financial report? Profit and loss. It is in $120,000. Spent. This is all of last year's that we've got in front of us. And it also,
I have a question. So the budget was 121,000
Mhm.
And the actual is 6,000. Right? The budget is for just 1 month, or is
Or
it?
this is for the whole year of
Fiscal
last
year.
year, the
Fiscal
whole
whole
physical
year.
year from October to September last year. And this was our whole budget and. For this year.
And this is just
Last
1 month.
year. We haven't started on the budget for this year. Will show up this next meeting.
Behind line blends.
Oh.
It's gotta stick together.
Okay.
So, we have accounted for the whole amount that we budgeted for last year. And then we took what we had remaining and put it on this budget. And so that was just the,
So the total income we have on trade was just six.
I'm sorry, where are you looking, Henry?
Yeah, 6,331.
Well, the net income shows 46.
That's not right. That's not right at all. We had more income than that.
This is just 1 month.
Oh, it says right here.
Oh, okay.
No, I think
Well,
budget.
hold on a second.
It is-
For October this year.
That's, yes,
Progression. I mean, the progression.
Okay.
for-
I'm still having trouble seeing with my eye. You're right, this is only showing the 1 month. It was supposed to be for
Yeah.
the whole year, but we've got the 1 month showing up. And that's what we've taken in so far this month. And then what we're expected to take in for the year.
And when do we get the money from the city? What month do we?
For the loan repayment,
No, for the tax.
okay, typically what they do is they do it like in a quarterly. Show it till,
So money from the city is that sales tax, isn't it?
yes,
We did that for you, right?
usually it's quarter.
So this is, it says over budget, but this is actually for our budget for this year till September 23rd next year. Is that what this is?
Yes,
And this is what we calculate.
so this is what we've taken in so far, the total income is 6,000. We have budgeted with the hope of getting payment from our loan in the other days to get this.
Right. And this is.
How far we are off our budget so far. We've gotten this amount, and this is the amount that we still are lacking to make that number.
We're in good shape there then.
Yeah, we're in good shape.
Now, on the grant and the divergence.
Yeah.
So we dispersed 20K.
Tell me the line.
That was what was budgeted, it was 20K, and we dispersed that.
We have not. This is, we have not given any out. That's the reason it's the negative. Shows we
Okay.
did zero, negative,
Gotcha.
and then we aren't giving any out, so we still have that much, but.
So do we have another sign in the works on top of the sign? Or people sign? No, we do not. We still haven't heard what we're doing about the old sign problem.
The sign problem is. With Jim McElroy, the attorney, they are trying to locate him. And serve the papers. So we're on.
Who was that?
It's maybe with.
So for October through September, I make a motion to approve the budget.
She made a motion to approve.
To the Board of Public Laws.
So I'm second motion to approve. All in favor?
Aye. Oh, okay.
And so this is a tough one because we did, because our website sent us a bill for the last quarter of last year and didn't get it in time, so it came out this year.
That's for every 6 months. Feet, so it's.
Actually, I think it's a quarter.
Do we have? I lost it. We see, this side don't even have.
Yeah, and that's something we want to talk about in our next meeting.
Yes. I'll put that down. Yeah, I thought that was for the whole year.
Okay, so any other questions on that before we do that? Okay, so Allison made a motion to approve the financial report. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
All right, our next agenda item is some of the movies in the park. We briefly have talked about that a little bit, and I think we now are at the point where we're ready to take some action on it. Kathy, I'm gonna kind of turn it over to you to tell us what you've got going here.
Okay, I turned in an estimate, I think it was back in May. We voted to do it, but we never purchased it. So I've been trying to contact the company to make sure the estimate is still good at the same price.
Okay.
So I kept dialing the number of the lady that called me. She finally called me back today. She no longer works for that.
Oh, okay.
So she gave me a different number.
Okay,
So we're gonna have to table it for the next meeting.
Okay. that's fine. So what we've got going there is we're going to see, just try to figure out if we can do movies in the park like the other EDCs have done and like Emory and some of the other places. And to do that, we're going to try to get some of our teenagers involved from the school and take part in that. So we're tabling that for right now. We'll discuss that again.
And we never get to a final on whether we were going to invest on the projector or whatever, right?
We did, we
Yeah,
actually
we did.
voted. I brought the
Mhm.
estimate and gave everybody a copy.
Mhm.
It was around 200, I think.
Yeah.
So, but that's been a few months, so that's
It's
why I was
been a
checking.
long time.
So we'll see what things cost and we'll revisit that this next meeting. All right, so we were approached by, the next item on there is the Liberty Marketing. We were approached by this company, Liberty Marketing, and they are doing a map of the Lake Tawakoni area that will include Rains and Van Zandt counties. And then it will be presented by the Whisker Fish and Guide Service and distributed by the city of Emory. They would love to feature the EDC on their map and a little advertisement. We have some money in the advertisement budget. We are interested in this. This is their payment, the price for marketing. And you can see it's a wide range of prices. We do get some free maps if we decide we want a little ad there.
And where's this map gonna be again?
It's going to be distributed by Emory, and it's going to be of the Lake Tawakoni area. All the lake itself.
Are these the maps like they have for the tournaments there that people come in and purchase?
Yes.
I do know for a fact, because of working in one of the marinas there, they do purchase a ton of these as they come in for their tournaments, so.
A ton of the maps.
Yes.
And the map is of delay. in the area.
Yes, and it does have advertisements on,
So what does their?
What is the purpose of the map?
I'm sorry.
Where do
If
they
you can
go?
come in and from what my experience is, they come in because they need to know the areas of the lakes so that they can get into the coves and stuff for fishing. And they also do have the advertisements on there. They do get looked at.
They do get looked at. It's a
Yes.
good way to advertise our town. And to get people maybe thinking about coming this direction.
Do you have any idea how big the distribution is by Emory?
Or where they're gonna be distributing them. Are they the ones that are gonna be for purchase?
Well,
or are they just
They're
free?
for purchase, for purchase, and let's see, here's exactly what it says. It says, we are updating the Lake Tawakoni map featuring Hunt Rains and Van Sant counties, which will be presented by the Whisker Fish and Guide Service and distributed by the city of Emory. We would love to feature your business on the maps. Please look over the information below. Let me know what size ad we could feature you in.
Did you see those maps that the chamber had, that we gave away at the market?
Yes,
Are they like that?
very similar to that.
Wonder if we could, the chamber to do it and take photos on them.
I don't know whether the way they're doing this isn't that we're paying for the maps. We're not.
Right.
The way they're doing this is they're trying to get some ads to go on the booklet, the map booklet. And that the ad itself would feature, the EDC as part of West Tawakoni, and it would be an advertisement for our city.
So what would the ads say?
Well, that would be up to us.
Like, what's your vision? What would it say? Yeah, an EDC in the city or?
I think, this will be the first time, I guess, right, because
Yes.
we never done this before. We have.
Not having it.
Here is the question, the real question.
Mhm.
Okay, so when they distribute into Horn, Brains and Van Sant, whatever it is, do they have as big of a lake that we have? That's question number
That's-
one.
This
This is the lake. This is the whole of the lake. It all goes, it's in Hunt, Van Sant, and Rains County,
surrounding cities
So
and
it's
counties, so that's like.
all the way around the lake.
But here is where I'm going with this. So in this cities in here, some other EDCs, I guess, they are going to be also advertising their lake and stuff like that.
Right.
So do we know if there's any larger lake than ours in any of this? And the reason why I'm asking is why?
Yeah, we are the largest
Okay,
lake
so
in,
why?
in the whole of East Texas.
So you just answered the question the way I wanted to. I'm going to tell you why. If I have a big boat, and if I have money, because in order to have a big boat, you need cash.
Cash, yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
You won't go and drop your boat in any of Ohio, Rains, whatever it is. I want to go and advertise in Rockwell when I know that big buck people, they have their, and I want to give them an alternative. Hey, when it's BC here, whatever it is, we have a lake as big as the Rockwell one, come and visit us.
Mhm.
And I think we're going to have a better foot traffic than spending the money advertising on the smaller than us.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem. You can go over there and you can advertise in that paper over there or whatever. But it's not gonna show our lake. This is a map of our lake that is showing our lake, that we have the opportunity to put something in. And people that come to these fishing tournaments will pick up this map and they will take it back home and they will see that we have an advertisement for our town in there that they have access to the lake to. And will they want to come here?
Also, they show a What link? So is this gonna be on their website as well? Because it's showing the link to
Probably.
directly to the map.
Yeah, the map.
Yeah,
There.
it looks like it will be. Looks like it will be a direct link on,
But would it, do they still have, do they show the fronts and the backs? Because that would be where we would decide if we want to do the back or the front. They're just gonna show the front of the map, then what we want. A back. of the-
before that.
If we can
Yeah,
get
I
those.
agree. I agree with you, but I guess my thing is, I'm Carrie thinking where they're gonna get these maps, because they've got to be at Emory to get them. So maybe in addition, it can't hurt to put an ad in there, but in addition to that, ask the chamber about their maps and if they're gonna do those again, or where they got them.
Yeah, I think they got them from basically the same place.
Yes.
Is what I think.
Most of
They
the
just
They-
bought them from them to use over
Yeah.
there.
My way of thinking is, if this company is doing this for this county here, then we need to get in touch with the company who's doing it for Rockwall. Because we're not far from Rockwall.
The Rockwall has like right covered.
Right.
Right, this is actually of our lake only.
I know,
So-
I know, I know, but here is the thing. They are a marketing company.
Right.
And they know how to manage that. And unless this company that we're investing on, delivery marketing, they are also willing to take our map and distribute it over there. That's how you spread the word. There's only two ways. Either this company migrates over there and hand it or sell it to them too, or we find out who is advertising.
Okay, so your thing isn't that you object to actually putting an advertisement in something that shows our lake. Your objection is that you're concerned about where they're distributing it to.
Pretty much. Because I am
So
not going,
what we could do is we could get a hold of this Liberty Marketing and ask them. They're going to go through this Whisker Fish and Dive Service and the city of Emory. Distribute the maps to.
I think, if you can ask, how many of these maps are distributed? I think that would be more relevant, if they're only distributing 100, would make sense. If they're distributing 10,000,
Yeah, so looking at this, it's probably quite a bit because. If you put an ad in there, you get 20 free maps, for the very smallest ads. And if the banner or the back cover, you get 150 maps. And if they're looking at quite a few advertisements in there, you're probably distributing a couple of thousand maps.
It would be nice to know how many they're distributing and kind of where, but you gotta keep in mind that Emory does a lot. Emory has a bigger EDC, one in their EDC. They do the Eagle Watch.
They do.
They have their chamber too. We have our chamber too. These maps should be, Emory bigger. They do more.
And the tournaments that are held there, the people also on the times that they're not doing them there, those same fishermen are
Yeah,
here
and they have a hotel.
for our tournament.
They have a hotel. They'll promise you those maps are at that hotel. too.
They are, because that's where I worked at, with
Yeah.
the marina, with the
And then
RV.
more stores. They have more places to walk in and pick up.
Right.
Pick up the maps. So we can be sure that they will get distributed and they will show part.
It'll just be us.
And in my mind, nobody's gonna see that. Nobody's gonna see that.
No.
Nobody's gonna see that.
no,
Nobody's gonna see that. Nobody's really gonna see that either. They're gonna see that.
yes.
But if, for the
That's a lot.
hand maps, that would be,
We published a hot rod magazine.
right, yeah,
They're gonna see that.
right.
And
I
I'm
don't know where
sure-
that is,
I-
unless it's at the top of the front page of it. And you call for pricing. If it's on top of the first page, then everybody's gonna see the banner.
A banner.
Don't you think that
probably
Emory's
on my
probably
side.
gonna go that back cover or the front cover?
If they're not.
No, it would be on,
They've offered it.
They've
So,
offered it,
yeah.
yeah.
so it's like
Not
the,
there.
like a red
Mhm.
thing or whatever across the.
maybe
top of the
insert.
banner.
If you're gonna do it, make them.
Um,
People know the thing, so the-
Like it would say
But, and this is why I'm.
This is a token, this is a token. This is a token. We're not gonna do that.
And this is why I'm thinking, why should we go and advertise on counties or cities that have a very small lake, because the people that you're going to attract.
It is our life though, but on top of this, we have to make the advertising, and when we make the advertising, we can use that same advertising, the same everything about us.
Anyway,
Go in whatever
Put it out.
the chamber does,
yeah,
and whatever we everywhere, anywhere else we want to put it.
yeah,
It would be us with a neon sign, our communities with a neon sign.
Yeah.
So if we do this, do it right,
I agree.
do it useful all the way around.
So if we decided to do this, you would want to do the back cover.
You guys all do.
The back cover or the banner.
The back cover.
All right, so we want to know how many they're making. What other questions do we want to ask them before we
Where they plan on distributing, huh?
distribute?
Whether they,
And how quickly they need our map, our advertising. How quickly do they need it? Because somebody's got.
Somebody,
now, is this including artwork?
We would be coming up with our own, correct?
Hmm?
We would.
That's
That's another question.
That's another expense too.
I can do that. I have really.
You can do that?
Yes,
This is just for.
I have the software needed for that.
It'll take you a minute to do it though.
It will take a minute, but not as long as some things have been taken, but
Well, not as long as if we
Yeah.
have somebody else do it. because
Right,
You
exactly.
know,
yes,
you know what we,
yeah,
you know, it.
well.
You're
I'm
not-
getting there, but
you're
yes.
not working with 50 other
Right.
companies.
Right.
You're working
We
with
also use the resource that we have with the lady,
Dan,
yeah,
Yeah.
because he has all of the artwork.
Mhm.
We just need to put it together.
yeah, I can get it all, but I have the software that's needed
You
for
have
the
to make it
college.
pop.
Yes, because I get the
Make
software.
it a
available.
neon sign. Look at us.
I wish I had more information, but I did not get this
Now.
email in time to get any information, because when I put it on the agenda, they had just called and asked us to talk about it, and I had requested information. And she did not send it until today, and I did not get it until I walked in this room where where Annette had laid it out. So,
It'd be good to know if every tournament
There's,
that goes out, that they post that. And if we make it, we're gonna put our website on it too. Our
there's
Facebook on it too.
There's two
Everything
questions
anybody can
with
click
that,
on.
too.
Right.
for how long they are going to keep this hot link. When the people click on their webpage, if it's gonna be a week or whatever it is. And also, if we can also use this link to readdress it to our webpage on the city hall, whatever.
On their
Forwarding.
webpage,
A forwarding link.
Yeah, a forwarding link.
Yeah.
That way, when the people get into our website, they click on it, they also see the banner of the advertisement. whatever.
Yeah.
This is that one.
it should all link and fall like a domino. Right. I want to click here, click here, click here. I can see. them
okay,
now.
any other questions you want me to add as comments?
Do you think the golf board would like to
That,
partner up?
no, they did call me too, yeah.
That would be very cost.
Okay, so, I don't know when they have to have this in. Are y'all willing if they have to have it this month to maybe have a special meeting to discuss what we want to do? Um, So at this point, I guess we'll not take action until we can get some more information. If that's agreeable with everybody. The chair will entertain a motion.
So I make a motion that we don't take action on this at the time. We get a little bit more information. And that we call, once we have some of that information, we call special meeting to discuss possibility of advertising in the lake, the Liberty Marketing Company's lake project map.
I second that.
Okay. All in favor?
I,
I,
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye. Okay. All right. Okay, now we're going to talk about strategic planning for our EDC. And I'm going to turn some time over to Allison to explain this and to work on this.
Okay, so I just have a little bit of stuff to say that's not on this paperwork. The first stage that we would go through in strategic planning, and this is not going to be all exclusive of what we will be doing. This is just the first stage. So the purpose of a strategic planning is to devise a plan of action by taking a look at the bigger picture as a whole. We have to gain a realistic overview of where we are now and where the desired state would be. And then we can start by filling in that gap with our goals to achieve that. It's not something that will happen overnight. It will be a process. And for that reason, we have decided to go around about a 5-year plan and see how far we can come with that before we have to make longer plans. So with this stage, we'll just be setting the foundation by developing a direction and setting goals to achieve over the next 5 years. And to accomplish that, we start with analysis. So we will be completing a SWOT and a PESTEL analysis. I know a lot of people are familiar with the SWOT, which is the strengths, weaknesses,
Opportunities.
yes, opportunities, and people say threats, but people take that out of context most of the time. So I say objections or obstacles. So if I say obstacles or objections, I do mean threats. Yeah. Okay, so with that, I'll also say that we do want to include the community in this so that if anyone wants to volunteer to participate, they can get a hold of Pam and she will get in touch with me so I can get that information to y'all as well. So with that, I will start with a background. So performance analysis involves gathering formal and informal data to help define and achieve goals. Performance analysis uncovers several perspectives on a problem or opportunity, determining any and all drivers towards a barrier to successful performance and proposing a solution system backed on what is discovered. Before an organization can begin creating a strategic plan, it must first analyze the current and desirable situation. I want to make sure that we don't spend time for failure, that when we do this, it will be success in the end. I can't even say those words today. So before I get going, I would just like to say that we all are in agreement that we're going to see some tangible benefits on the front end effort, because there's no reason to start it if we're not going to follow through and make things happen. So acknowledging that the time we spend now is to ensure we are creating a plan with successful outcome. Do I get an agreement from everyone? Yes. Okay, sorry. I'm doing it by the book. Okay, so on the first ones, on the first page, I have included some terminology for the phases that we will go through. There's 7 phases involved in the first stage, and that's really just 7 questions. It's really simple. The first question would be the SWOT analysis on organizational strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and obstacles. So if anybody wants to go ahead and provide their answers for that, we have decided that to keep in round with the Open Meetings Act, we would go ahead and answer those questions. Yes.
Okay, I will start.
Thanks.
I will start with one. One of the biggest strengths I see is that everyone on this board care about the city. They want to see things do better for our citizens. They want to see us accomplish some goals that will help our citizens. And I see that as a big strength of our board.
I think one of the strengths we have is that we got a big lake. You know, it's a strength, would you?
I think one of the strengths that we have here is the willingness of our citizens. They, quite a long time, they want to see this city to be better, to be on the map. And I think the willingness of our citizens, that's, to me, that's the top priority, because that's what's gonna drive the city.
And we have a highway passing through our city.
Right.
It's 1 hour from Dallas.
Yes.
It is 1 hour from Dallas. And our strengths are that we have caring, educated, brilliant people on this board that have ideas that are innovative, that bring more for the family here. For them to do, and to care about, and to be a part of.
And we're really family focused, because on every meeting, every decision that we make is all around. We're a family drive.
Yes.
Strengths.
I think one of the strengths is that this group, Pam said, we have a good group now, we all respect each other, we can disagree. But we disagree, respectfully, and we come to a conclusion, and I think that way we'll get something done.
I kind of feel that we're no different than any other board, such as the school board. And the school board needs money to operate, we need money to operate so that we can facilitate and give to our businesses. And they're looking for a bond vote for tomorrow, which some people have negativity about it and some people have positive feelings about it. But you have to remember that it's not going to cost you any more. Well, they say, yes, it's not going to cost you any more right now, this year, but next year it can go up. Well, it's not set that way. The bond that they're looking for now is to come in at 25 million. 25 million to repair the roofs and some of the floors that have gone bad. Plus to repair some of the floors so that the negativity of them having to scrape and clean and do this costs you a pile of money every month. So if you put the new floor in that's already shined, we'll say, like that, then it's not going to cost you that. Plus, you have to understand that they have a bond that's already just about paid. That bond is the bond that we vote on now is going to come in and slip into that other bond that's already paid. So it's not going to cost you any more than what it's costing you right now, like that. And I feel the same way about our community. Everybody here really cares. And I think that somehow, whatever we can bring in, we've got to put out with complete responsibility for adding to that business.
Would you explain real quick, and this is kind of an ordinary question, but I saw that somebody was trying to explain how this is set on the ballot tomorrow, that whether you vote for it or whether you vote against it is complicated.
Whether you vote for it or against it, it does what?
The way that it's written on the ballot depends on how you should vote for it or against it.
So be sure and read it very closely is what she
Yeah.
said.
Yeah,
Be sure and read it very
yeah,
closely.
I don't know how it's placed on there.
I already voted, I didn't have a problem with it. I read it.
Did you read it?
I read it. Yeah.
Okay.
And I didn't have a problem with it, understanding what it was telling me
Okay.
to go one way or the other.
For our next part of it, I would like to make sure that we all be candid. I know sometimes it's hard to, be upfront about weaknesses or failures, but in order to get where we're wanting to be, we need to know where we need to improve upon. So we can't do that if we don't know and we're not candid about our weaknesses. So I will turn now to the weaknesses.
Weaknesses, we don't have enough money. There are enough businesses here.
Are you talking on terms of the sales tax?
No,
Or
it's
just
just
in
not
general?
resources, lack of resources.
Thank you.
I think on the weaknesses side is, and it's quite related to what Jim just mentioned. I think we need to also make awareness to our citizens to support the local businesses here. But then at the same time, bring more variety to kind of supply the demand and the different taste from our citizens. So one thing that I will ask our citizens, just putting this plan down in the road for the next 5 years, is as soon as we can and as much as we can, just support the locals. Because that's what's going to generate the income needed to see other future enhancements in our
So are you saying that we would lack in diversity in businesses?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want us to see what we saw several years back where this whole town had nothing but liquor stores and bars. And then whenever the city became not the only wet place around, then all the business left, because they couldn't stay alive with that. We definitely need that, diversification of businesses so that we have not just one business that we're, helping with all the time. We need a wide variety of things so that we can meet the needs of our citizens and we also can keep our businesses active. So that even goes for restaurants. We don't need 10 restaurants here, and we've said we need restaurants, good restaurants, but we don't need maybe 10 of them. We need a few of them. And then we need some other things to bring in that will
that complement the whole.
They
the whole
complement
entire
the rest.
plan.
Yeah.
And I think that the weakness here too is, if we all as a community, if we are all believers, and this is a message for the Auckland community here. Let's try to make the vibe and the look of our city better. So if you own a property on the commercial strip here on the main street, just keep it nice, keep it beautiful, because that kind of stuff, people, they led by what they see too.
Absolutely.
And I think we need to push hard on that.
So can we rephrase it and say that, we got code enforcement?
We do now, we have code enforcement now, we just need to be stricter with it.
Stringent or stricter code enforcement.
Well, code enforcement is one thing, but how about when I'm trying to enforce a code that I don't have provisions to go by, or set a good example, or having procedures in place and stuff like that. No, I think it's not about, I don't think, Jim, it's not about code enforcement. I think it's how much you love your city and how badly you want the city to become busy by visitor tourists and all of that, and you want to fix it. You want to visually speaking, make it really good appealing to the visitors.
I think that really is a big factor. I've looked at a lot of other towns and it seems like these revitalization things, when they go in and they clean up businesses and they beautify them by maybe putting, some plants out front or painted, well, it's not just painting the building anymore. It's making the whole thing look inviting for people to come into your business. And I'd like to see our weakness, one of the biggest weaknesses is you go down R276 and we have abandoned buildings. We have weeds up to our ears. We have essentially junky looking places that we need to clean up.
So curb appeal.
So curb appeal is a big plus for us. And I think as an EDC, we need to look at what we can do to help our businesses look.
And that's the key, and that will be like part of the conversation, or the conversation we had with Ray about a month ago from the city of Terrell. Partner up with the garbage companies, whatever it is.
Well,
let's
we
do
will
an
get to
email
that part in
campaign.
just a minute. That'll be on the next, not the SWOT, but that'll be in the pestle analysis. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
We've talked about the signs, the companies and businesses that have gone out and the signs still being there, or the signs destroyed to where they're unsightly. I don't know that we've really done anything about that, or could. We didn't have code enforcement person at that time. But now that we do, we could even actually probably, I had envisioned this bag sign thing to drape over them that's got EDC written across it. An EDC action at work, you know?
Yeah. That's a good idea.
It just, it just goes around and you pull a drawstring and it's over this big ugly
Put it off.
ugly sign that says ED action at work.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
That is cute.
You know,
That would. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I hope you guys don't take this as being
No.
tactful. I'm being totally honest.
That's what we need.
Makes me mad
That's
already.
exactly what we need. We can't give you very much without.
Okay, we started out on the restrooms at the park.
Yes,
That's a sore spot with me.
okay.
Okay. Michael comes in. We talk to Michael. He brings a 5-year plan for the park. Okay, part of that, we set right here and said, we will pay if, it's new. We cannot pay for replacement or repairs. So Pam has asked for 3 estimates. We have 2. We cannot get the 3rd one. And James has tried to be involved in that, and he's talked to Michael. So I did send something to Jim and asked him if he would make sure that Michael followed up on that. But he's got 1 estimate so far for 7,000 and 1 for 22,000.
well,
Okay.
can I suggest we get both of those estimates, and since that's all we have to consider them?
I
By
think,
bylaws, we have to have
okay,
3 that we can use.
So follow
okay,
through, would
that's
be
my first.
follow through. If we
Yeah.
can sum it up
Follow through.
in one word, follow
Follow through. We
Yeah.
need some follow
through.
through.
And then that would be,
And I think it's cooperation too.
right,
Cooperation from city entities with the EDC.
so communication between the organizations.
Yes.
I don't even think it's communication. I think
Sense
it's
of urgency.
cooperation.
Sense of urgency.
Show up.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not trying to take over the park or take anybody's job here.
Mm-mm.
We're trying to help out, help the community.
And
We
actually,
have the market on the lake and they're constantly at us going, well, you told us a month ago the restrooms would be working.
and we actually showed him like 50 picture site too that day. And,
Okay,
Everything we
we're
heard.
gonna stop that conversation here for a minute, because we're not trying to dig on anything
Right.
other than answers on
What's your next step?
those.
Okay,
Sorry.
the next thing is like you were talking about the sign. Okay, I was up here one day and talking to Shannon, our code enforcement person. She was not aware that there is an ordinance with signs that go up down through 76.
So knowledge.
Yeah, she was gonna check on it because they only made that ordinance in last year or 2.
I do have copies of that. I think that you're right on knowledge of, on our end as well, what we can put out there. We can't, without having everything in one place, we don't know what we can do.
Yeah.
So I will just put knowledge as far as my answer on that one.
And then I think the other thing, we need to go to the council and ask them to make some ordinances.
Okay.
You know, when, at one of our meetings, Jim had asked for $30,000 for Kings Marina to clean it up. I suggested a fence, which at that time he didn't think it would work. I think a fence would work. You know, Forney, when they cleaned up 80, that's what they did. They passed a fence ordinance. And they put fences up to clean up some of the vehicles and trash and things like that. And it looks a lot nicer now.
Okay.
So I think we need to go to them with that.
Okay.
Mm. Oh, the sign. You know, we just need to follow up on stuff quicker. The sign that we're suing on, how old is that?
Too old.
way too old. Way too old.
We
We
could sign
should
them
have,
soon.
we should have followed up on it much quicker.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just. And now we're having difficulty finding it. So,
Well, they were waiting on the attorney to do things for a long way, just like property across the street.
I'm done.
You're fine. No, we need to know. That's what this whole session is about, finding out where we're lacking so we can fix it.
We're only facing-
Larry, what do you think a weakness of ours is? Where are we weak at?
Our weakness is not following through.
Okay.
That's one of our weaknesses. We meet and we talk about different things,
Okay.
but for some reason or other, what we need is either assign someone or a couple and just kind of follow through with the different things that you people are bringing up, so
Process.
that we can bring something back to you and say, we've done this, this, and this. We wrote them, da, da, da.
So would you say processes?
Right.
Okay.
okay, so I'm gonna go with mine here too.
Yes, ma'am.
We have a lack of training.
Okay.
We have an issue within our own midst. We all need to take the sales tax workshop. Is one of the trainings that we all need to do.
Okay.
We have a lack of, I think we've tried to give everyone new the copy of the bylaws and what we do as an EDC to learn what we do. But we need some of the official trainings state offers. And we need to also train our city council on what an EDC does. And we also need to train our businesses on what the EDC does and the citizens what the EDC does. So that they have a better view of what we are trying to do and how we're going about it to keep it legal, and within the law of what
Do
we're
we
supposed
have
to do.
that database available to us?
We,
Or do we need to create that database?
we need to create a type of database that we can train, not only our own members, but our citizens and our city council on what we need to do.
Okay, so I think that in discussing the weaknesses, we have gone over some of the obstacles that we have. Unless anybody has any other obstacles. they
I have
would like to
one
say.
more.
Yes.
Lot of drugs
Okay.
and
Yeah,
homelessness.
Okay,
drugs and homelessness, yes.
okay, and then we can go to opportunities.
What's an opportunity? Are you?
Opportunities would be such as the lake is an opportunity for
Well,
us
that's-
to.
Well, what we can
that's a
highlight.
trend too, right?
Right, right, it is. The strengths are opportunities in themselves, but they just put it out this way. Let me tell you, on the terminology, what I have for that. That way it'll be a little bit easier here. Okay, so on the SWOT. It can be perceived as something more, or let's see, where did I put that? Well, I just didn't explain that one very well, did I? Okay, so there's my lacking. Opportunities are things that we have at our availability to be able to offer or use.
So in other words, things that are broken, that can be fixed, that becomes an opportunity, would it?
It can be, yes,
It's not a clear
But
strength,
what-
but it
no.
can become something.
right. Yeah, anything that you can use, like our community is an opportunity. The park is an opportunity, the lake is an opportunity,
It's a
anything that we
strength.
can use, they are, but it's just viewed as different. Like, because the strength is what we as individuals or as a group what we are good at. I
I was
guess,
thinking opportunity would be something like, we don't follow through. That's an opportunity.
It is.
It is.
Could be,
It is an
It is.
opportunity.
but
right, weaknesses can be opportunity because they allow us to improve upon if we recognize them as a weakness. Yes.
so
So for the SWOT analysis, the way that they're trying to set it out is that the strengths would be, what are we good at? What do we do right now that we are good at? The weaknesses would be what are we not good at? The opportunities would be where can we be good at? And then of course,
So,
Right, for
so
obstacle
like if
is
you're
like-
saying the lake,
right,
our opportunity is to advertise our lake.
right,
That would be an opportunity to build it up in our system, would be to advertise it. That's an opportunity.
Use our chamber.
Yeah, we could use our chamber more. We could become more involved in our chamber of commerce. That's an
That
opportunity.
is 100%.
Okay.
So let me say something, so. Annexing, the part of the community that's not part of the city,
okay,
that's an opportunity. You annex them, so it becomes, we have more revenue base.
Yeah, and then annexation this could be a very
This one.
We
Another
need
one
to take
maybe,
the opportunity to have all of our businesses come together again. We've done that this year.
Yes, we need to
We
do
need to
that.
have social with our local businesses, bring them together. We have them, we've done it before where we had them fill out a short questionnaire. What would you like to see us do to help you?
Mhm. That's a good idea.
That's an opportunity.
That's an
Because
opportunity.
it's being lapsed, it's being 2 or almost 3 really hard years. And I bet you a lot of them, they are not even considering staying in business because of hard.
Another opportunity for some of our restaurants is that there's a grant available to some of these restaurants that have been open during the pandemic. We need to get that word out to them.
They actually announced it about a week ago. They have the federal government have some funds, especially for restaurants,
Yes,
to help them out.
and I did copy down that information. If anybody's interested in that, they can get in touch with me. Got that information. I thought I would bring it to some of these restaurants. So,
okay, but as far as
Opportunity.
opportunities
Opportunity would
for
be-
improvement.
Bring more families, young families. I think that's what we need for the future of.
yes, our population is an older population for the most part in our town. But you take like Arrowhead, I went and walked through Arrowhead recently, and what I saw was so many of the older people had died. And now the homes over there are becoming more family type homes that are moving in. So we need to quit looking at our town as
A retirement.
a retirement community. We need to start looking at the opportunity of bringing families into our town and building up our town and taking over the leadership of our town.
On that, I can tell you that, there has been a 12.3% decrease in the age over the past 4 years as to the median age, that is.
Homeowners. That's good. It's good to know.
It is getting younger. Okay, so I would like to, if y'all don't mind, since we're getting kind of drawn out here, if we move to the pestle analysis, which is going to go over our political factors, economic. Now, when I say political factors, I'm not speaking of the election that's going on now. We will avoid that if we can. So, I don't want to open that. So what I would just like us to,
We just want to.
I'm talking about like legislations that are already in place or regulations, laws and rules that are for our department. If they are a factor that impair us or provide for us.
There are some very strict laws on what we can do as an EPC now.
So maybe if we can get that together.
what's that best?
The pestle is, okay, the pestle stands for political factors, economic factors, social factors, technological factors, legal factors, and environmental factors. Now, I know that the political factors sounds like it's the same as the legal factors, and it really kind of is, but it's in different perspectives. So I've listed, and I know they don't have that information available, but I put examples next to on there, and if you don't have a copy of yours here, I can share. So on political factors, examples would be, and I'm gonna cross out that first one. Because it was elections, and that was just because that's what comes with that. But we're not gonna talk about elections, because we're not talking about local on that one, they're talking about, higher up presidentials and stuff like that.
Right.
So legislations or regulations, laws and rules would be for the political factors. So I think like Pam had mentioned, I would agree that we need to know what we're limited to. Because those are going to be impediments. And I don't know all of them. I've been trying to study as much as I can with my availabilities through the university and professors there that do teach in economic development, but I don't know enough.
Now you need to take that class that we.
Exactly,
Now,
yes,
Yes.
And we only, and most of us need to, I have to take it again,
right.
because it's been too long.
I think one factor maybe, can we say planning, there's some cities of plant,
Right.
plant development. We don't really have that. I mean, this is the right time to plan it? You want the city to be, like you said, retirement community or what about now? Plan it. You said this area would be this and that area would be that. At least that. You can say, okay, this would be commercial, this would be hotels, this would be that. Some kind of planning would be good.
Planning and zoning.
I think that will be actually going down into our last one of environmental factors.
That's not environmental.
In this sense, it
On
will
the
be,
pedestal things.
right.
See, Quinlan advertised. I saw it on Facebook somewhere, it's been a few months, but they got a grant for people that had homes that were run down to get those fixed. I think we should look into some programs that help, some of these people. There still is a lot of older people out there. So, and they need help.
I'll call John there and ask him how he does that.
I'm not sure if we have other community development or what.
I know that he did that.
No, there was an agricultural,
Right.
it's under the Department of Agriculture.
Yeah. I'm on the zoning board of adjustments there. I'm the chair, of the zoning board of adjustments. Oh, last Johnson, he did that. Where he went. See if he can, see if he can give me a direction to see what we can do about that.
I need to offer
If I
some
may,
help.
I think for tonight, we might end at this pestle just because it's getting
Okay.
late.
Yes,
And
I
I
think
know
so
that
too.
people are probably very interested.
Okay.
Okay,
And we, yeah.
it'll
we do
take a
have
little
one-
while. The other answers are a little bit
Yeah.
more of.
Okay, so we will do the pestle at the next meeting that we have.
Okay. That's,
Okay, so like you said, this is going to be a process.
it is.
It's going to take a while to do.
Normally, they would
And-
sit in an 8-hour session and just get it all over with. We can't
We
do
can't-
that, so
No, we cannot do that.
we will split it up.
We will split it up, we will do that, and over time, we will come up with a strategic analysis that will help us know what we need to do as an EDC and go forward with those things and see that we go to completion with all those things. So,
And we do want the community input as well, because
yes,
that's very important.
absolutely, we have to get some community input.
Without, there could be an EDC, but without a community, we don't have an EDC.
Correct, correct.
And there is also a fine line, whenever we're dilating into the rules and stuff that, if you want to attract people and get the people motivated and engaged, you cannot be that strict into it, because instead of finding a team to work with you, you're going to be a team working against you.
Right, absolutely.
Well, there has to be a paragraph that we can post everywhere, including our Facebook, our website, that says what the EDC is to do.
Right, what we can do.
Yeah, what we can do for our public, for the people to know.
Right,
EDC of West Rocky wants you to know, we want you to come, be a part of what we do. Tell us what you think.
right.
Yes,
And in that, that's besides the paragraph to tell them what we can do.
Right,
As your EEC,
right.
this is what we can
That's a
do.
4B, because they are different
Please.
between the A's and the 4Bs.
Yeah. Please come and
Right.
participate. Tell us what you're thinking, what you see that we need to do.
Yeah, I think we need to explain roads.
Yeah.
Explicitly.
Yeah, we're not the
Because
road
they're
committee.
under the,
Yeah,
a
we,
lot of people think.
state legislature won't let us do
Right,
unless it leads directly to like a factory or to a business that will increase jobs in our city. And so that means we can't repair the roads that are already there. They have to be new roads leading directly to a business.
I still think we should do a job workshop to where
And
our
something,
businesses can show their students what we can put them
Right.
here.
Yes, we do have another item on our agenda.
I think Harry had one thing he wanted.
yeah, I just wanted to say, and, I want the community to know that we all here, we are volunteering because we actually care. I mean, we don't make a dime or bulk or whatever it is. We're doing it because like you guys out there, we actually care about this, about you, about our city and about everything that is surrounding us. Not only for today or yesterday, it's also for the future, for the young families to come and all of that. So just want to make everybody aware of that. We are all on the same boat.
So what's the other item?
Okay, so we need to go to executive session for a minute to discuss real property. So we're going to go in the other room. I'm going to mute this.
We are unmuted.
Yeah. Next one. Okay, the chair will entertain a motion. Our executive session.
I make a motion for property A discussion in executive session that we will go forward with an offer. And I also make a motion to table property B for further information.
I second that.
Okay.
Of the motion.
And all in favor? Aye. Okay. And then last item on our agenda, chair will entertain the motion to adjourn. To adjourn, since we have no citizens input.
I make the motion, we adjourn.
I second that.
Okay,
I'm gonna eat.
time is 7:49.
Don't anybody forget Mark on the lakes this weekend. Yeah.
Mark it on the lake. I'm ready.
Down there freezing.
Yeah.
I'll actually make it to this one.
I am sorry I'm late. I completely forgot. Again,